He'll go down in our history as one of the greatest goal scorers and strikers we've had.
You knew that if he's on the pitch, the chance to win is always there until last second of the game.
He was one of the greatest goal scorers that England has ever had.
Soon to be retired Michael Owen. Michael, what has the reaction been like to the news this week?
It's been overwhelming, really, if I'm honest. I knew it would make news. I don't think my mum's accepted it even to this day. She still thinks that her son can go out there and run past four Argentinian defenders and score a goal, and I'm trying to tell her, Mum, I can't do that anymore. I'm not quite as good as I used to be, and that's not...
It's good you can be honest about that, Michael, isn't it?
That's not an easy thing to, one, admit, but two, deal with.
Have you exceeded what you remember about that day when you put on the Liverpool shirt for the first time?
I always knew I was going to be, a top player, and I always knew that I was different to the rest growing up as 10, 11, 12. I always knew I was way ahead of all the other players that I played alongside. I reached the top of my profession. I mean, I was European Player of the Year and I was at the top, but I wanted to obviously stay there for a longer period of time, and my body didn't allow me to do that.
Does the relationship you now have with some Liverpool fans hurt you because of what you achieved at the club, because of how much you enjoyed your time there? It should really be beautiful, but it's bruised in some people's eyes.
Yeah, it is bruised. I mean, in some people's eyes, I think, you only get one career, and if I hadn't gone to certain clubs, then I would have been scratching around in a poorer standard of team for half of my career. Well, surely, in any walk of life, you always strive to be the best and to be playing in the best team.
And you've said in the past as well, on one of your blogs, about how you were maybe pushed too much too young at Liverpool.
It's very difficult if you're way ahead of your years and you're the best player in the team at the time and everything else, for you to be rested. And I wasn't going to be rested.
You didn't want to be rested?
Of course I didn't. I just didn't have a break for years and years and years, and that's something that if I was advising a youngster nowadays, I'd guard against.
40 goals in 89 internationals, but if you ask any England fan, they will remember one above all the others.
Still Michael Owen, he scored a wonderful goal! Is there nothing beyond this 18-year-old?
Obviously that Argentina goal was important in terms of my own profile around the world. All of a sudden people heard about Michael Owen.
Just think what he'll be like when he grows up.
I was just not scared. I didn't even know who I was playing against. We'd have team meetings and, you're playing against this man and this man, and,
You didn't care?
I didn't even listen. I just knew that I was playing, I was going to score, and I didn't need to know about the opposition.
We talk about angry fans with regards to Liverpool. There are a lot of Newcastle fans out there who, would openly say they wished that you'd never come to the club. Was that maybe in hindsight a move where it wasn't right for you, wasn't the right fit?
You could say that. I got injured trying to score a goal for Newcastle. Then obviously having rehabilitated for 3-4 months, and I played one game before the end of the season. But again, I got injured playing for Newcastle and I went to the World Cup. Now in hindsight, I wasn't in the right condition to go to a World Cup and to play at that level, having played one game. And I did obviously my cruciate in my knee. So obviously I was out for a year, stemming from that game when I tried, bravely went in to try to score a goal and got smashed by the goalkeeper. Now, I just struggle to see how that's my fault, basically.
Do you feel like railing against the supporters sometimes?
You do, and you try to rise above it, you try not to bite, but there's always another side of the story, so, one day everyone will know, and I doubt everyone will apologise.
And then you moved to Manchester United and work under somebody who you regard to be the best manager that you've worked with?
Is he not the greatest manager of all time? I mean, he's got to be up there, hasn't he? So, I mean, when I first signed, I was really excited to hear his team talking to hear and see how he was about the place. What surprised me was, having been there a couple of months and thinking, this is how he is, then you speak to Gary Neville and Giggs and people like that, and they say you haven't seen anything. 10 years ago, he was 10 times more volatile, so it was that was an experience, because I thought he had a real good balance.
Do you think that had you been at Old Trafford rather than Anfield as a young footballer, that you would not be announcing your retirement now? It's an interesting question though, isn't it?
It is an interesting question, but if you want an honest answer, then it's probably a yes. I mean, I read a stat a while ago that Ryan Giggs played a certain amount of games in, you know, his first certain amount of years. I mean, and I thought, God, it was hardly any. And I thought, you know, I had played, you know, 200 games by the time I was 19 or something. I mean, I had the choice to sign for Manchester United as a kid. I chose Liverpool. Yeah, I probably could be playing a bit longer. I probably might have had a few more medals in my pocket, but, you know, who knows? And I certainly wouldn't swap my time at Liverpool for anything, because, as I've said on many occasions, they were the best years of my life.
The football career comes to an end at Stoke, something that didn't quite work out as either party wanted it to.
I don't know how many minutes I've played, but I've scored 1 goal, so I've still probably got a decent goals to minutes record, because I've only come on for 2 minutes here and there. But it hasn't happened, and I'm as disappointed as anyone about that.
Have you closed the door on management and coaching?
No, I haven't closed the door on management, and I'm one of them as well that, you know, I find it hard to say no to people, and if someone goes and offers you a good job, you know, then you think, God, I could do that, I'd love to do that. But no, I wouldn't close the door.
Something that might surprise people is your desire to get into the sort of representation of footballers.
I want to be able to sort of almost mentor young players throughout their career. There's so many pitfalls out there, as everyone knows, and I just feel as if to have another voice and to nurture some of the country's best talent is what I'm striving to do.
Can you summarise your career in 3 words?
Very hard. I think if I go in chronological order, it would be maybe meteoric at the start, then pride, and then something like a damp squib. Is that 1 word or 2? Towards the end.
Fluffy.
Fluffy at the end, yeah. I'd say something like that.